Your determination has been your weapon. It has carried you through every storm, every setback, every moment of doubt. But have you ever stopped to wonder, just for a second, if this very strength, this iron will that you carry is also the thing that has been holding you back? I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm telling you now. Your determination, the thing you thought was invincible, might just be the thing that's keeping you trapped. I know it feels like it's always been your shield, your armor against the world. But what if I told you that the very thing you thought was your strength is actually the thing that makes you vulnerable? You've been carrying that weight for so long, pushing forward with relentless resolve. It's in the way you wake up each morning with a fire in your belly, always striving, always pushing. But no one ever told you that pushing too hard can make you break. Make you break anytime. That your relentless drive, your need to prove something, to push beyond your limits. What if it's been fueling someone else's victory all along? You've been giving, sacrificing, and yet it feels like the harder you try, the more you lose. You're exhausted, you're frustrated, and you keep thinking it's you, that you're not doing enough, that you're not trying hard enough. But here's the truth. Your determination has been manipulated. People saw you coming. They knew how far they could push you, how much you would sacrifice for the cause, for the dream, for the people who promised they'd be there when you made it. But they've never been there, not in the way you need them. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Whether you know it or not, this realization, this awakening, is everything. Your determination has been twisted. It's been used against you. And I'm here to tell you, it's time to stop. You've been running on fumes, giving everything you've got and wondering why you're always falling short. Now, it's time to step back, to reassess, and to see it for what it is. You've been misled into believing that your worth lies in how hard you push, in how much you sacrifice, in how far you're willing to go for others. But that's not your power. That's not your true strength. It's been taken from you. And you've allowed it to happen. But not anymore. This moment, this second, is your turning point. This is the moment when you realize that your greatest strength, your determination, is not about how much you give, but about how much you preserve, how much you hold back, how much you reclaim. Your fight isn't over, but it's time for you to fight for yourself. Do you feel it? The shift. It's happening now. What you've always believed to be your greatest asset, the thing that's kept you going, is now your greatest weakness. Now, your greatest, but it doesn't have to be that way. This is your chance to turn it all around, to take the power back, to rewrite the narrative. Your story is just beginning. You've fought with everything you have, blood, sweat, tears, and a heart that won't quit. But for all that effort, for all that willpower, where are you? What do you have to show for it? Nothing but a mountain of broken promises and dreams that seem to slip further away with every passing day. You've been giving and giving, thinking that if you just push harder, if you just sacrifice more, things will finally shift. But they don't. They never do. It feels like every step forward only pulls you 2 steps back, like you're running in place, sinking deeper into quicksand with no way out. Your resolve is steadfast, but the world keeps pushing back, taking more than you can give, and you're left wondering, why? Why does it feel like nothing ever comes of your effort? Why does it seem like the harder you push, the more everything slips through your fingers? It's as if your determination, once a beacon of light, is now the very thing that drags you into darkness. The more you try, the more you pour into the system, into others, into your dreams, the less it seems to matter. You've been exploited. People saw your fire and they fed off it. They knew exactly how much you were willing to give, how far you'd go to prove yourself, and they took advantage of it. They told you, just a little more, just a little longer. They promised you that if you sacrificed, if you just held on, you would be rewarded. But they never came through. They used your drive, your hunger, your ambition, and turned it into their own weapon. They made you believe that you weren't enough unless you were constantly grinding, constantly pushing, constantly sacrificing yourself. But here's the thing, you were never meant to be a cog in their machine. You were never meant to be a tool they used and discarded when they were done with you. But you've been so caught up in your own drive, so caught up in pushing through, that you didn't see it. You didn't see that they were feeding off you, draining you of everything, while you were left with nothing but an empty shell. It's not your fault that they manipulated you. It's not your fault that they saw your fire as something to exploit, but it is your responsibility to stop. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with determination. But when it's abused, when it's misdirected, when it becomes something others use against you, it's no longer your strength. It becomes a cage, a trap that keeps you locked in a never-ending cycle of striving without reward. Your drive has been the source of your struggle, not because there's something wrong with it, but because it's been guided by others who don't care about your well-being, your peace, or your true potential. They don't care if you burn out, as long as they get what they need from you. Maybe it's a boss who pushes you beyond your limits, demanding more than you have to give, and promises recognition that never comes. Maybe it's society telling you that your value lies in how much you can produce, how much you can sacrifice. Or maybe it's your own mind, whispering that you're not enough unless you keep going, unless you keep fighting, even when your body begs for rest. It's a trap, and you've been caught in it. Every time you take a step forward, you're sucked deeper into the whirlpool of expectations, each one more demanding than the last. You've been conditioned to believe that your worth lies in what you can give, how much you can endure, and how long you can keep going before you break. But that's not true. That's never been true. You feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, the pressure, the expectations, the constant demand for more. You're carrying it all, every obligation, every expectation, every burden on your shoulders, as if it's your duty to bear the weight of everything. But do you know what happens when you push too hard? When you carry too much? You collapse. Your flame flickers, weak and fragile, unable to burn as brightly as it once did. And yet, you keep going, thinking that this time will be different, that this time your efforts will be enough. But they never are. You're burning out, slowly, steadily, and no one seems to notice. No one sees the cracks, the exhaustion, the weight of it all. All they see is the outward appearance of strength, the determination that never wavers. But that's not enough. Not anymore. I know how it feels. How it feels to give everything you've got and still come up empty. I know what it feels like to be betrayed, to have your effort turned into someone else's victory. And I understand the frustration, the confusion, and the sense of abandonment that comes when you realize that all your hard work, all your sacrifice hasn't given you what you were promised. It's easy to feel like you're the problem, like you're not enough, like you need to push harder, do more, give more. But I'm here to tell you, it's never been you. It's never been you. It's been the way you've been used, manipulated, and made to believe that your worth lies in your ability to endure, to sacrifice, to keep going no matter what. The truth is, the world has been taking advantage of your fire, and you've allowed it because you were taught that your determination was your strength. But that's not strength. Your strength is knowing when to stop, when to rest, when to protect yourself from the forces that want to drain you. It's time to break free. It's time to reclaim what's yours. You fought so hard, haven't you? Day in and day out, you've given everything you have. You've put every ounce of your energy into this, into the dream, into the mission, into the hope that if you just keep pushing, if you just keep fighting, something will finally give, but nothing has. You've reached the point where the battle feels endless, like you're sprinting a marathon that never ends. You're exhausted, you feel like your soul is running on fumes, but still the world keeps demanding more from you. Every time you think you've crossed a line, that you've reached the finish, another wall rises up. You stretch your hand just a little bit farther, but no matter how much you give, the reward slips further away. However much you get, the energy that once drove you has turned into an unbearable weight. Every step you take feels heavier. The work, the struggle, the sacrifices, they all seem futile now. It's as if you're on a treadmill, running and running, but going nowhere. Your body aches from the strain. Your mind is on fire from overthinking, overanalyzing, and pushing yourself beyond what's sustainable. You know you can't stop. You can't rest. The world is waiting for you to keep moving, to keep striving. But what if, after all of this, it's still not enough? What if no matter how hard you push, the reward is just out of reach? What if your best isn't enough? You don't want to admit it, but there's a voice inside you whispering doubts, a quiet, insidious voice that wonders. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe this was never meant to be your path. It gnaws at you, that voice, feeding on your exhaustion, your frustration, your fear. Maybe everyone was right all along. Maybe you're just not strong enough. Maybe you've been fooling yourself, chasing a dream that was never meant for you. The thought spirals in your mind like a storm, tearing apart your resolve, shredding your confidence. Your determination, which once gave you strength, now feels like an anchor, holding you down in a sea of doubt. You are sinking. Your soul feels hollow. It's like there's a deep, empty pit inside of you where your fire used to burn, where your purpose used to be. Now all you feel is the weariness. It's no longer just physical. It's mental. It's emotional. You've invested so much of yourself, and yet you can't escape the feeling that you're standing in the ruins of your efforts, watching the world move on while you're stuck, alone, hollow. You try to ignore it. You try to keep going because that's what you've always done. Your mind screams, just keep going. Don't stop now. You can't quit. But your body, your spirit, begs for rest, for relief, for a way out of this endless cycle of sacrifice and struggle. But the world doesn't care. The world demands more. And you keep giving because that's what you were taught. That's what you believe. If you just push a little harder, if you just fight a little longer, it will all be worth it. But what if it won't? What if this is as far as you go? What if, despite all your effort, all your sacrifices, you are never enough? The weight of your relentless determination presses down on you like 1,000 stones. Every choice you've made, every time you've pushed through when your body screamed for rest, it all weighs on you now. It's not just the physical exhaustion, it's the emotional toll, the cost of giving everything you had and not seeing the return. It's the quiet despair that creeps in when you look around and realize that no matter how much you've given, no one has shown up for you the way you showed up for them. You're alone, you're tired, you're broken, and the worst part, you can't even remember why you started. You wonder if you'll ever feel whole again, if you'll ever have the strength to keep going. The longer this goes on, the deeper you sink into the hole of self-doubt and despair. The harder you push, the more you sink. The harder you fight, the further away the victory seems. It's a cruel paradox. Every step you take to get closer to the goal feels like it takes you further away. The more you stretch, the more you fall short, and no one seems to understand. It's like you're drowning in an ocean of expectations, and every time you try to breathe, you're pulled under again. You don't have the strength to keep fighting. You don't have the willpower to keep pushing, and yet there you are, trying, hoping, praying for a break that never comes. You feel as though you're trapped in this endless cycle, a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster, but going nowhere. You keep asking yourself, is this it? Is this what I've been fighting for? Is this all there is? And the answer, every time, is the same. It's never enough. You've given all you have, and now you're left empty. The struggle is relentless, the reward's elusive, and you're so tired of trying, so tired of believing that if you just keep going, things will change. And yet, you know deep down that if you stop, if you rest, it's all over. It's the hardest thing to accept, but the truth is, you don't know how much longer you can keep going like this. In the midst of your darkest moments, when you feel like you're drowning in despair, when every step you've taken has only led you deeper into exhaustion and frustration, there's a truth you must grasp. Transformation is always possible. Even in the deepest, most suffocating moments, change can arise. The storm within you has raged long enough. It has torn you apart, shattered your illusions, and left you questioning whether you can go on. But what if I told you that this storm, this very turmoil you've been battling, is the catalyst for your transformation? What if I told you that in the midst of all this pain, there's a way out? Hope is not some distant fantasy. Hope is in you right now. It is not something that will magically appear from the outside. It's not a miracle waiting for you in some far-off place. It's not the result of some stroke of luck. No, hope is born from within. It's in the quiet, persistent belief that the storm doesn't define you, that the destruction you felt, the weight you've carried, doesn't have to be the end of your story. Hope rises from the knowledge that the darkest moments often give birth to the brightest transformations. And you, yes you, have the power to reclaim that light. You've been taught to believe that transformation requires collapse. You've been told that you have to break in order to rebuild. But that's a lie. You don't need to be shattered in order to rise. You don't need to fall apart to grow. All you need is to shift your perspective. It's not the world around you that must change, it's you. You are the storm and the calm that follows. You are both the chaos and the order. You have the power to change your own world, to look at everything you've endured and see it not as destruction, but as the fertile soil for something new to emerge. Think about the earth, how it cracks under pressure, how it is torn apart by the forces of nature. Think, the cracks are not signs of weakness, they are the perfect places for new growth to take root. The storm that shattered the surface, that broke the earth, made way for new life to emerge. You are like that cracked earth. Your struggles, your pain, your battles, you have not broken you. They have prepared you to grow. The seeds of change are planted in the most unlikely places, in the places that seem to be falling apart. And right now, in your own life, those cracks are where your new strength, your new life can take root. But you must first let go of the need for external validation, the need for the world to acknowledge your pain. This change, this growth, it doesn't need to come from others. It starts with you. You are the one who can change the trajectory of your life. You are the one who can find peace amidst the storm. You have the power to choose a new path, a new way forward. The storm within you is not something to fear. It is something to embrace, for it is clearing away the old, the dead, the limiting beliefs that have kept you trapped in a cycle of struggle. What you see as destruction is really a necessary shedding of everything that no longer serves you, or no longer. I know it's hard to see it now. I know it feels like everything is falling apart, but you've been in the fire long enough. You've been tested, tried, and broken down. And now you are ready to rise. You are ready to bloom. The soil is rich, and the conditions are right for your growth. But it starts with you making the choice to rise. You must believe that you don't need to be destroyed to be reborn. You must believe that you are not a victim of your circumstances, but the creator of your destiny. Your transformation doesn't require you to lose yourself. It only requires you to shift how you see yourself. Look inside. What do you find there? A flame, no matter how small, is still a flame. A spark, no matter how faint, still has the power to ignite a fire. That spark inside of you, that flicker of hope, nurture it. Feed it. Let it grow. Your transformation has already begun. You don't need to wait for the world to change for you. You don't need to wait for someone to come and tell you it's time. The time is now. The seeds of change are already planted. You are not broken. You are ready to grow. The time has come to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances, as someone who is constantly fighting an uphill battle with no end in sight. It's time for you to embrace your role as the hero of your own story. You've faced the trials, the setbacks, and the betrayals, but now you need to shift the narrative. The struggles you've faced are not signs of weakness. They are the building blocks of something greater. You've been tested and you've survived. You are stronger than you think, more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Every challenge you've faced has shaped you, honed you, and prepared you for this very moment. You're not here by accident. You're here because you have what it takes to rise, to conquer, and to thrive. It's time to reclaim your power. Stop handing it away to others who don't deserve it. Stop allowing the circumstances of your life to dictate who you are and what you can become. Your determination is the tool you've always had, but you've been using it without fully understanding its potential. Your determination is not just something you use to push yourself past your limits. It's the key to unlocking the next level of your growth. But to harness it, to make it work for you instead of against you, you must see it for what it is, your greatest strength and your greatest weapon. But only if you choose to wield it wisely. Look at your struggles, the pain, the losses, the moments when it felt like you couldn't go any further. These are not setbacks. They are lessons. Every time you fell, every time you stumbled, you learned something about yourself. You learned your limits, yes, but you also learned your capacity to endure, to rise, to fight again. Pain is fuel. The hurt, the disappointment, the exhaustion, they are all fueling your transformation. Every time you fall, you're one step closer to standing taller. Every setback, every failure, every painful moment is building your foundation, and it's a strong one. You don't have to fear the pain anymore. You don't have to run from it. Embrace it, learn from it, use it, because it's not your enemy. It's the catalyst for your greatness. You've been through the fire, and now you are forged in its flames. Your resilience has been tested, but it has also been strengthened. The truth is, you are not the same person you were when you first started this journey. You are more capable, more powerful, more focused than ever before. You've faced obstacles that would have stopped others in their tracks, and you've kept going. You've learned how to pick yourself up, even when the world seemed intent on knocking you down. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's resilience. You've proven to yourself time and time again that you can face anything and survive. Now, it's time to take that resilience and turn it into something even greater. The world doesn't define you. Your past doesn't define you. Your failures don't define you. You are the one who decides what your story will be. It's time to stop playing small, to stop letting fear and doubt hold you back. It's time to step into your greatness. You have what it takes to rewrite your story. You are the author of your life, and you have the power to change the narrative. Don't wait for someone else to validate you. Don't wait for permission. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the power to take control of your destiny. The challenges you face, the hurdles you've overcome, they are not the end of your journey. They are the beginning. Each one has made you stronger, more capable, more prepared for the next challenge. The road ahead won't be easy, but you are ready for it. Your struggles have made you tough, they've made you relentless, and now you are in a position to face anything that comes your way. No challenge is too great, no setback too painful. You have the strength to keep moving forward, to keep fighting, to keep growing. You have a power within you that no one can take away. Your determination is not a curse, it is a gift. You are not defined by your struggles, but by how you rise from them. You are not a victim of the world's circumstances. You are a warrior, a hero in your own story. You have what it takes to face the challenges that lie ahead and emerge victorious. So now I'm asking you, are you ready to take back control? Are you ready to rise up and embrace the power you've always had within you? It's time to stop running from your pain. It's time to stop hiding from your struggles. Embrace them. Use them, because they are what will propel you forward. You have the strength, the resilience, and the power to face anything that comes your way. And now, you are ready to turn that strength into unstoppable momentum. You are ready to step into your power, to write the next chapter of your story. The world is waiting for you to claim your victory. It's time to rise. This is it. This is the moment. Do you feel it? that surge of energy rising from within you, pushing out the fog of confusion, the darkness of doubt. Everything you've gone through, every moment of pain, every second of struggle, every defeat, has brought you to this exact point. You have been through fire. You have been broken. You have been tested in ways you never thought you could withstand. But here you are. And now you can see it for what it truly is. All that pain, all that heartache, it was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal who you really are. You have always had the power to change everything. You've been waiting for someone else to give you permission, to tell you that you're strong enough, capable enough, worthy enough. But I'm telling you right now, you don't need anyone's permission. You never did. The power has been within you all along, all of it. Every ounce of strength, every drop of courage, every bit of resilience you need to rise, it was always there. You didn't need to wait for the world to tell you that you could be more. You didn't need the validation of others, the recognition of your worth. Your worth was never in their hands, and it wasn't yours from the very beginning. The doubts, the fears, the voices of those who told you you couldn't do it, they are a distant memory now. They have no power over you anymore. They are nothing but shadows, fading as you step into the light of your true power. For too long, you let those voices define you. You let their doubts become your doubts. But no more. You have awakened to your true strength. You have stepped into the truth of who you really are. You were never powerless. You were always the one in control. And now you know it. Do you see it now? Can you feel it? That moment of realization when everything clicks into place. That moment when you understand that all the pieces of your journey, the struggle, the pain, the heartache, were not there to break you. They were there to shape you, to forge you, to prepare you for this exact moment. You were never meant to be a passive observer in your own life. You were meant to rise. You were meant to overcome. You were meant to walk through the storm and emerge stronger, more powerful than you ever imagined. It's time. It's time to step forward. All that you've been through has led you here. All the battles, the hardships, the moments when you thought you couldn't go on, they have prepared you for this. Harold, you were never weak. You were never broken. You were simply being refined, being sharpened, being made ready for the power that now courses through you. It's time to rise, and this time, you rise as the person you were always meant to be. The villains, the doubts, the fears, the people who tried to hold you back, the thoughts that told you to quit, they no longer have a hold on you. They are powerless in the face of your strength, because now you understand that you are the one who shapes your destiny. You are the one who decides what your story will be. You were never truly powerless. It was always within you, waiting for you to awaken it. And now that you have, nothing will stand in your way. So, are you ready? Ready to rise? Ready to step into the power that has been yours all along? Because this is your moment. The moment when you stop holding yourself back. The moment when you realize that your destiny has always been in your hands. The moment when you become the person you were always meant to be. You were never weak. You were never broken. You were always powerful. And now, you rise. Look at who you were. Think back to the person who started this journey, the one who was uncertain, unsure of their worth, unsure of their power. That person believed in limits. That person let fear dictate their choices. That person let the world's expectations shape their reality, and in doing so, they lost sight of their true potential. But that person is no longer you. No, the person standing here today, the person reading these words, is unrecognizable in the best way possible. You are no longer defined by your doubts, your past mistakes, or the struggles that once felt insurmountable. You are someone new, someone transformed. And this transformation isn't just a shift in how you see the world. It's a shift in how you see yourself. The person you are becoming is a force to be reckoned with. You now stand tall with the confidence that you are worthy, capable, and unstoppable. The weight of uncertainty has been lifted from your shoulders, and in its place, you've built a foundation of self-worth that no one can take from you. Your resilience has become your armor. Where you once faltered, now you stand strong. Where you once hesitated, now you move forward with purpose. Every challenge that comes your way, every obstacle that dares to test you, will only reinforce your strength. You have been shaped, hardened, and refined. Now nothing will break you. This is who you are now. You are not the person who doubted their worth. You are not the person who second-guessed every decision. You are not the person who let fear guide their actions. No, that person is gone. That person has been replaced by the one standing before you now. Someone who knows their own power. Someone who has stared down adversity and emerged victorious. Someone who knows when to stay safe. You are not the fragile person you once thought you were. You are unbreakable, unstoppable, relentless. Do you feel it? Do you feel the strength coursing through you? That strength isn't something that just appeared out of nowhere. It has been with you all along, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And that moment is now. You've built this strength through every struggle, every battle, every tear you shed along the way. Each one was a brick in the foundation of your new reality. You didn't come this far to only go this far. No, you came this far because you were always meant to go farther, to do more, to become more. And now, you are finally stepping into the person you were always meant to be. Your confidence radiates from within. It's no longer a flicker of hope. It's a blazing fire that refuses to be extinguished. Every challenge you've faced has made you stronger, has sharpened your mind and spirit. The person you are becoming is the embodiment of resilience. You are no longer waiting for the world to give you permission to succeed. You are no longer hoping that someone will recognize your worth. You recognize it now, and with that recognition comes the power to move mountains, to shape your own destiny, to achieve the greatness you once thought was out of reach. You've always been capable of this. Every step you've taken, every choice you've made, every moment of pain you've endured has led you to this place where you are standing in your full power. You have always been worthy of success, of love, of peace. You've always had the strength to rise above your circumstances, to transform your struggles into triumphs. But now, you truly understand it. Now you know that you are not just capable, you are unstoppable. This is who you are now. You are not the person who doubted themselves. You are not the person who faltered. You are the person who stood tall in the face of adversity, who fought when others would have given up, who rose from the ashes of defeat to claim their rightful place in the world. You are everything you've always dreamed of becoming, and more. The world doesn't stand a chance against you now. The doubts, the fears, the setbacks, they will no longer hold you back. You have a vision of your empowered self, and that vision is no longer a dream. It is your reality, and it will carry you through every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt that may try to creep in. Because you are no longer afraid. You are no longer hesitant. You are no longer bound by the limitations you once placed on yourself. You are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. And nothing will ever stand in your way again. You are the person you've always been capable of becoming. And now you step forward, fully aware of the power that lies within you. The journey is just beginning. And with every step you take, you will rise higher, stronger, and more confident than ever before. This is who you are. This is who you were always meant to be. And nothing will ever change that. This is it. This is your moment. The moment when everything changes. The moment when you stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you are enough. You are ready. You have everything you need within you. It's time to step into your power and claim the life you've been dreaming of. The world isn't going to hand you permission. The world isn't going to come to your rescue. No one is going to validate you, to give you a stamp of approval, to tell you that you're allowed to succeed. It's time to stop waiting. This is your time. You've spent so much of your life looking for someone to tell you it's okay to rise, to stand tall, to take control of your destiny. But that time is over. You no longer need anyone's permission to succeed. The only permission you need is your own. You are the one who decides what your future holds. You are the one who controls your destiny. You are the one who has the power to change everything. So, what are you waiting for? What's stopping you? You've already endured the hardest part. You've survived the storm. You've faced your darkest fears, your most difficult challenges, and you've come out stronger on the other side. The transformation has already begun. The only thing left now is for you to act. It's time to stop dreaming and start doing. The time for waiting is over. The time for rising is now. Take action, right now. No more hesitation, no more fear, no more excuses. You've spent enough time in the shadows, second-guessing yourself, doubting your worth. Now, you step into the light. You claim your power. It's time to make your transformation real, and that starts with the choices you make today. Right now, in this very moment, you have the ability to change everything. The actions you take from here on out will define your future. You are not the same person you were when you started this journey. You are stronger, more capable, more determined than ever before. So, what do you do now? First, you change your mindset. You no longer see yourself as a victim of your circumstances. You no longer let fear dictate your choices. You no longer believe that you need the approval of others to take the next step. You are your own validation. Your strength, your worth, your power are within you. Second, you set your intentions. You know who you are now. You know what you are capable of. So what's next? What do you want to achieve? What goals do you want to accomplish? You set those goals, and you do whatever it takes to make them a reality. You don't wait for the stars to align. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create your moment. You take the steps needed to turn your vision into reality, no matter how big or small. Third, you take action. Consistent, determined, relentless action. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for someone else to push you forward. You are the one who moves. You are the one who takes the first step. You are the one who decides that your dreams are no longer just dreams. They are your future. And when challenges come, and they will come, you face them head on. You don't retreat. You don't falter. You don't let setbacks define you. You rise. You use every struggle, every obstacle as fuel to propel you forward, because you are no longer afraid of the fight. You are no longer afraid of the pain. You've already been through the hardest part. Now, you embrace the challenge. You meet it with confidence, with strength, with the unshakable belief that nothing can stand in your way. This is your moment, right now. This is the time you stop being passive. Stop waiting for external validation. Stop letting fear control you. You are the master of your own destiny. You have everything you need to rise. The power has always been within you. You've just been waiting for the right moment to claim it. Well, that moment is now. You were never broken, you were never weak, you were never destined to fail. You were just waiting. Waiting to realize that you've always had the power to rise. You've always had the strength, the courage, the determination to change your life. And now you do it. Now you rise. So, are you ready? Are you ready to step into your power? Are you ready to claim the life you've always been meant to live? This is your moment. It's time to rise.